Teachers Union SADTU says 2020 was the most challenging year for matriculants in their history. The union says some matric learners almost dropped out because of fear of contracting the coronavirus. They say teachers had a hard time convincing parents to allow their children to return to school. For more, let's bring in SADTU spokesperson Nomusa Cembi. Nomusa, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Good morning and good morning to your viewers.
All right,
Thank you for inviting us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed for taking the opportunity. Knowing what you know in terms of what educators have gone through in 2020, what learners have gone through in 2020, your expectations with regards to the results?
Obviously, this year was a quite a dramatic year, a year full of challenges due to COVID-19. Last year we had an 80.1% pass, and which was quite a good pass, and we could see that the matric pass was getting better and better and better every year. It would be a miracle if we would see a pass that is better than last year, because of what we are going through this year. But we always hope that we will get the best, judging by the dedication of teachers. Yeah. Even though the situation was not conducive, but when schools opened, we know that even when grade 12s were allowed to go back, some schools could not go back immediately, especially those schools mainly in quintile 1 and 3. That still did not have all the resources there to enable them to ensure that learning was quite conducive. They had complied with all COVID-19 regulations. So they opened late, but we commend teachers as well as the learners who sacrificed their weekends, who sacrificed their holidays to ensure.
Nomusa, you still with us?
Learners as exam. We know in some. Yes, I'm still with you.
All right, sorry, just missed you. If you
Hello.
Can just, yeah, sorry, we just had a break in transmission there, but if you just can repeat your last point.
I was saying we commend both the learners and the teachers who, with the little time that they had, they sacrificed their time, that little time. They studied over weekends, they studied over holidays, they slept even in schools, both the teachers and learners. Some teachers even sacrificed their homes to ensure that the learners are prepared for this day, for the exams. We also know that some did not finish the entire syllabus, and the matric syllabus was not trimmed. But even though it was like that, they said, we are going to go ahead, we'll prepare and we'll write.
Just, I guess interviewing people like yourself gives us an opportunity to, get to the heart of the issue with regards to what educators went through in 2020. And you told us about, the sacrifice they made. I mean, and it's not as if things are over now, now that the vaccines are coming into place. We're still going to go through some hardship this year. Talk to us about the emotional state, the psychological state of teachers, and as they brace themselves for 2021.
Yes, as they brace themselves for 2021, anxiety levels are still there. And especially the matric teachers, we know that they just completed their marking only last month, and then they had to go back to schools. They've never had a break. They've never had enough time to recuperate. And also the psychosocial services in our schools, we are fully aware that they are not sufficient. They are not given enough counseling, enough support to make sure that they are strong mentally and emotionally. And we've been begging the department to please provide more psychosocial services under these circumstances, not only for the learners, but also for the teachers as well. But we thank them for in those circumstances for waking up every day and saying they want to make a difference, even though we feel that there is the support that they are getting is not necessarily adequate.
Yeah, and their efforts, educators' efforts, needs to be applauded in trying to navigate through so much uncertainty over 2020 and still into 2021. Psychosocial services notwithstanding, what else? You know, so one of the questions that we're asking our viewers this morning in terms of what sort of lessons can we learn from this COVID-19 pandemic that will hold us in good stead going forward? What do you think? What other lessons can this education sector learn from this pandemic?
We've been talking about the issues of blended learning, that we would like to see blended learning being introduced in our schools, because we do not know, where, we've heard that there's a third wave coming, and hopefully we hope that perhaps by then we should have had the vaccine, but we cannot just sit and wait for that. We would like to see blended learning coming into our schools, and we also, above all, we would like to see one critical issue that was brought forth by this COVID-19 was the disparities that exist in our education system. So we'd like the department could see, even government could see that, this pandemic has worsened the disparities. So we'd like to see, as the budget speech will be coming later this week, we would like to see a stimulus package being brought in for education, so that it can even out the playing field, because we can see that those learners who are in former Model C schools, in private schools, were better advantaged than the majority of learners who are in township and rural areas. So we'd like to see a serious stimulus package to ensure that the resources that are there in those private schools and former Model C schools are also availed in the township and rural schools.
SADTU spokesperson, we thank you very much indeed for your time. Be well.
Thank you.
All right.